I'm Ken Ochonogo. Welcome to Channel Sport on Sunday. And that's Coco. Uh, uh, 19 years. She'll be 20 on the 3rd of March, 2024. So there's still some way, she would have played the Australian Open before she turns 20. Maybe she might put in there. We also remember that I put about 1999 when a young Serena started her journey right at the US Open at 17. She won the US Open. So actually Coco Gauff is the 10th teenager, to win at the US Open. You have the Tracy Austins of this world, Martina Hingis, Monica Seles, you can go on and on. She's number 10, but the number 10 is the newest. Number 10 is, like I always say here, guys, just calming down. No matter where you come from, as far as you are a black man, no, as far as you are a black woman, you are a Nigerian. Yeah. I take that. Coco, she said, when I won 2 weeks back right there, and that was in Toronto, 500, they said, no, that is where you drop. You can't go further than that. She went to Cincinnati. She picked up the 1,000, and they said, no, you can't go further than that. But here we are putting, Flushing Meadows, she did win that, and that is the third you can think about. That is the ultimate for now. Big Pick Islam. It is the dream of every tennis player. We saw her. Let me just bring in my guys in there, because Jimmy is here, Tio is here. Tio, you pointed that, you dragged that to me. And when she was 8 or 11, when she was
8 years old.
She was 8 years old.
Yes, when she was 8 years old. Good afternoon, viewers. Good to be back. She was 8 years old. There was a video of her circulating the internet when she was dancing at the US Open. It's almost as if she knew she was going to be there. And how many years later, she's here, champion. It doesn't get bigger than that. And you look at all the stars that came out to watch her play. And how she literally had to zero in, laser focus, take on our opponent, and then she did the needful. World number 6, defeating world number 2. You made mention of that. 6-2, 6-2. It's just amazing. Her story has been really, really fantastic. Talking about, Jimmy made mention of that when we started, that they said she won 3 weeks ago, and they said, okay. And then she won 2 weeks back.
She was moving.
And they said she would not go beyond that. And so far, so good. They've just been fueling her to do more. I think we should still expect big things from Coco Gauff. She really is the next big thing.
For me, I think it's just our own victory. We've been following these younger ones for quite some time now. From the Sloane Stephens of this world, right up to the Francis Tiafoe, Dimitrov. We follow the young ones. We follow their progress.
We follow their career.
Right from when she burst on the scene in 2019, when she was just a 15-year-old, we follow through, and it's something to be joyous at this moment about. So it's really, really delightful watching Coco Gauff do her thing at the highest level. She maintained that composure. You could see the athleticism. She was right on top of the game, because if you could go out there, defeat an incoming world number 1, it's testament to your capability, your capacity. And because she's American, she's black, she's our own.
The story about the father, this kid, sometimes I think she's over matured. To me, I want to say that there is anything like that, because she teases her father. At any point, I think it was in the quarterfinal or semi-final. I think after she did beat Ostapenko. When they were asking her about father, he said the father can't. The father will be jogging around. He said he's jogging around somewhere. You understand? And in this final, when Sabalenka demolished her 6-2 in the first set, the father disappeared and went to go and hide himself in the suit somewhere. He couldn't take the tension.
She just newly assembled her team: Pereriba, Jenkins, also Brad Gilbert, somebody that had been involved with the progress of Andrea Agassi, and also Andy Murray. So that team had been one that really, really did help her in terms of mental fortitude. They are the ones that try to practically make her understand that, look, it's more like a mental thing. If you believe it, you will achieve it.
If you believe it, you do it. And that is the thing. We'll talk this all show. We'll talk this all show. But later today, it will be Djokovic taking on Medvedev. It is right. That rivalry is another one. Both of them past US Open winners. One is chasing 23. I'm chasing 24. He's already 23. He's already for now. He is the GOAT, GOAT of tennis. Jimmy might not agree, but
he has a choice.
He has no choice. He has no choice because you can't roll back the hands of time. So basically,
the best of all time.
Yes,
The best of all time.
We have that, but in this one, she collected 3 million, like we said. But also, the U.S. Open also said, look, Coco Golf, we are donating another 3 million to the charity of your choice, for developments and everything within, the USA. This is what we are talking about here. When when we do all these things, we come back home and said, can we have these things in Nigeria? I mean, which companies are going to sponsor this? Which tournaments are we going to fish it out? And then giving back there, because it is the development. 3 million goes to her pocket, but the other 3 million being spent, maybe $20,000 all over the US and developing it. I know what it is. Channels Kids Cup does that. I mean, we do that with that Theophilus Danjuma Foundation, not the Theophilus in the studio here. Where the kids, the schools that win the Kids Cup, they say choose a project. They don't give you the money. They come to your school and we do. I'll put that project so that other kids can have the opportunity, to get to where you are. And that is what we're doing here. But also, like we said early this morning, while we were celebrating Coco Golf, our own lifestyle bender lost to Sean Strickland in Australia. That is Kudus, the Kudus Arena. That is where Kudus Bank Arena. That is where he lost. All judges gave it to Sean Strickland. 49-6, 49-6. So at this, we'll come back again the way he came the third time. Maybe he might be a third time winner, but for now, he is a second-time loser fighting for that particular title. He is our guy. He is the showman. And this one is the showman, whether I like it or not. So I know he will come back. But then let him do less talking now and do more of that striking on the ring. But that is the way it is. Just one sucker punch and you are gone. But this time around, I think it was the first one that he got him that did the damage. As the show right on, we shall also look at the details of that. Okay. The Super Eagles are playing today, just like every other team in Africa. People call it a dead rubber. I don't know what a rubber is dead. The rubber is already dead. It's an inanimate object, but they said it is a dead rubber. That is not encounter because I haven't wiped them 10-0 on any round of. I don't know what the score will not be up to 10 to this. No matter what you guys are thinking, it won't be up to 10. There are other results also. We'll take all that. But we have a guest right here, and then he is joining us from the United Kingdom.
A special guest.
Yes, he's a special guest. Let's see if John Viola is in there. Hello, John. All right. We are waiting. They said he just left his seat. He will rejoin the show. So the moment he rejoins the show, we'll be informed. I will bring him to you, live right here. And you know what that means. But then let's keep on talking the tennis. Okay, all right. I think okay. I think John is coming back. So we're about getting him, to talk with us. I think okay. So before we go, as we prepare to go to John, all right, okay, yeah, can we, John, how are you?
Hey Ken, sorry, I didn't know we were starting. How are you? Okay, good to see you. You're looking great there, Ken.
Yes. I call him my friend. That's my friend John Viola. We met in London early in July, and then we did had some chat. He's a lovely host. I must say this. He's a lovely host. So I wouldn't tell you guys what he gave me. I won't tell you guys what John gave me. We had a nice time in London, myself and John. But then John is for over 50 years. I mean, John is a legend when it comes to the agents, FIFA agents and other people who walk around, our footballers and the rest of them all. So it was while discussing that, I had interest in Africa. He's been to Nigeria. I was asking, whatever, John, calm down. And that is it. So, but John, where are you? Are you in Scotland now, or are you in England? Where are you reaching us from?
No, I'm actually in Scotland today. I've just came back up from London yesterday, so back at home. I work between Scotland and England, between London and Glasgow.
I know. You're always strategy between England and I wish I could come to Glasgow, but I know Glasgow is so cold. I'm allergic to cold, John. I'm allergic to cold. So I can do London, but I can't do Glasgow unless you give me double clothes to wear and double gloves to put on. But let's meet you, John, for our viewers who are watching. Who is John Viola?
Well, I'm a football agent, obviously, and I've been one of the first FIFA registered football agents. Over 30 years ago, I started in this business of signing players up and taking them through their illustrious careers, hopefully.
Okay. I know it is Africa that brought us here into this particular talk, and then that is why we are saying, look, what if we have a John Viola, just like we are talking about here, what will any kid in Nigeria, any kid in Africa, that says, look, we want to go up. The dream is to play professional football. And the dream of even not just African football, Asian football and South American football is to go to Europe and get it done. But then the path is not always there. A lot of people will not do it wrongly. They will live here and then sell whatever they have. The mothers, some of them will sell their properties for that their children to go and play professional football, and then they end up somewhere else. What for a child who wants to do that? Let's start from there. What would be the pathway for an African footballer, a young African footballer who wants to go to Europe? I know, should we say you can take it, they can move from there to go to PSG or move from here to go to Liverpool, but what should be the pathway, John?
It's a good question. First and foremost, especially in Nigeria, there are some unbelievable footballers, some fantastic talent there. And when I've been there, one of the things I've found is getting that pathway has been the biggest challenge from getting Africans to Europe. But my advice, very quickly, first and foremost, is to find the right person or the right agent that's going to take you through that pathway of getting to Europe. Because, like I've heard so many stories in the past, some people are maybe getting into the wrong hands and not getting the right advice, the right understanding, or the right process of how to get out of Africa to Europe. So it's vital that you find the right person who has probably had that experience of doing it before. It's vital that you find that person that can take you to Europe.
John, there are a lot of sides to you. I know. I need to bring most of your sides. One of your sides is in training agents or those who want to become, football agents and stuff like that. And we're talking about the ethics. You understand? A lot of our footballers here cry that, why do I have to pay if I want, for me to go over there to go and whatever it is. What should be the responsibility of football agents when you want to take players out of Africa, out of South America, out of Asia to Europe?
Well, you said a word there, Ken, about paying. As soon as I hear that an agent's charging, especially a younger player, to trying to take him to Europe, then that's a red flag for me. We have never in our life charged a player to come to Europe. The way that we operate is that we work together to take them to a club in the hope that things will be positive in the future and we'll share a good business in the future. So when someone says to you, if you're a young player, that they want to charge you X amounts of money just to help them, I would be extremely concerned because I've heard so many horror stories in Africa. So that's a first red flag that I would be concerned about. If you're going to try and get this pathway, go and do research on who the person is that's speaking to you. Go and find out how many deals are done, how many players have taken to Europe. And you have to do that quite extensively. I've found that a lot of parents or children or good young players are maybe just jumping in and not doing that research, Ken. It's really important that you get the right person. And as soon as they say they're charging you money, I would be worried about that immediately.
Okay. Now let's go into this. I know we discussed a lot, but let's go into this. What should a young footballer be prepared to do, if you want to play professional football outside the shores of Africa? Of recent, I don't know, it's like, I know you've been to Nigeria. Which you've been to Nigeria before?
I've been to Nigeria a few times. I've been to Lagos a couple of times, and I've been to a place called Ilorin. Have you know Ilorin?
Okay.
Ilorin State, where I was there for a week, and that was a magnificent. This is what I learned about the talent that's in Nigeria. But when I was there and I was speaking to young Nigerians, I was saying to them, look, it's really, really different when you come to Europe. The biggest problem that we've found is the adaptation. When you come to a new country, especially if you go to somewhere like Scotland, where it is a lot colder, and a lot of the countries like, Norway, Sweden, Denmark are bringing in Nigerians, and the adapting to that change is probably the hardest part. The football, there's a change as well. Of course, that's normal. But the changing to the culture, I've found, has been the most difficult thing. So they have to be prepared to be thinking about changing the culture as is with their football as well.
I want to talk about recently. I think of recent, so that you were involved with the movement of Samson Tijani, moving from Nigeria to Scotland. The weather, the food, the professionalism. What makes you think that when he leaves Nigeria, those challenges are not going to affect his performance on pitch and adaptation to the environment that he's going to apply his trade?
Well, Ken, we're very fortunate that before he even stepped on a plane, that we had good conversations about, what the changes will be like when he arrives here in Scotland. He come directly from an academy in Lagos, albeit he played in the World Cup for the under-20s and done extremely well, Samson Lawal. But we were coaching him prior to him coming to tell him what the changes will be like. And really important, when he arrived here, with him on a regular basis, helping him change to the culture in Scotland is completely different, obviously, from Nigeria. And obviously the weather, and saying that the weather's been quite good recently, so it hasn't been too bad for him. It might be a bit different come November or December. But he has been here for 6 weeks, and he's changed dramatically in that period in terms of understanding about the food, the culture, obviously the football. He made his debut a couple of weeks ago in the Scottish Premier League. So it's actually taken him through the process of that change, which can be massive for some of these young players.
Okay, you were in Nigeria and you were in Lagos. What did you eat when you came? Did you eat fufu?
I ate fufu, but I liked another thing. What's the one that's fried? What's the fried food called? There's another jalapeno one.
Jollof rice. You ate jollof. Nigerian jollof. Did you eat Nigerian jollof?
I did. And it's funny because I'd been in Ghana 2 weeks previous and had their fufu, and they were saying that their fufu was better than your fufu. So I reserve judgment there for that one at the moment, Ken, but I enjoyed it. Nigeria was an amazing experience, and the people were nice. The food was great, and the football, I have to tell you, I could watch those young boys playing for days on end. The young football talent, the hunger, was unbelievable, and it's just trying to get these players from where they are to where they want to be. The pathway is difficult, and again, it's down to education in a lot of occasions.
Okay, I know, John, this discussion will be an ongoing discussion between yourself. This is the first part. We're still going to be getting you there. But before we let you go, what should be, you train agents, like we said, what should be the responsibility of a football agent towards the player? Because our players are, I don't want to tell you what you also, but you heard what they go through. What should be the responsibility of an agent, towards his player that he is managing?
That's a good question, Ken. But the very first thing I teach all of our students, because we're teaching all around the world through jivacademy.net, which is a platform that teaches. We've got lots of Nigerian agents we're teaching, and our very, very first thing that we say is the player comes first. That's our motto. you should be working on his behalf on what it takes to get him up to speed to be a professional footballer, what it takes to get him the right pathway. It's all about him. And if you look after him honestly and transparently and do the job correctly, the financial rewards will come. So it's about having trust with each other and working hard for each other. I tell them, you do all the work on the park and I'll do it off the park, and you must trust each other. But the most important thing is you making sure he comes first and working as hard as you can possibly can to get him to his dream pathway job to Europe, if that's what it is you're trying to do.
Okay. All right, John, it's a pleasure speaking with you. And like I said, I hope when we call upon you again, you will give us the time to be part of this show. That is just, my guys, everybody here. I want to say it's been a pleasure speaking with you, John.
I'd love to come in the studio and get the fufu ready for me, whatever is your best.
When you come to Nigeria, I will bring you on set and I will give you fufu.
Like, you eat live here.
All right, thank you, John. Thank you so much.
I'm looking forward to it. Thank you. Cheers.
All right.
See you soon.
Okay. That's John Viola, is reaching us from Scotland. When we were talking, I was trying to pick, he has this Scottish accent.
Yeah.
And so I was trying to get it, but after conversing with him was so much, but he came also so clearly.
It came good, and his love for fufu is right there for everybody to see.
Hearing you speak, it just gives me an insight to some of the Manchester United players that played
Let's try to see how they say they don't need you can. That is the challenges.
Yeah, exactly. As an African,
because if you don't hear what the manager is telling you
can't pass across messages that you take on the
pitch. The information will be missed somewhere. He will tell you and you didn't hear very well. You just be nodding your head. When you go to the pitch, you know the instructions he has given to you.
Exactly.
These are the challenges our players face. Challenges of weather, adaptation, a new environment. I tell you this, it's sometimes when you look this player, you go, what are they doing? What is he doing?
If you know what they go through.
You don't know what they go through. We're not talking about emotional challenges. We're not talking about families at home. We're not talking about the mortgages that the parents have done before they able to travel out.
Exactly.
You don't die at the time. And that is why also the agency we're talking about here. Because before you go there, probably because the agent, you are not supposed to collect money from the player.
Exactly.
You're not supposed to do all that. Arrange with the clubs that the guy wants to go to and see if it is for a trial.
But in this case, in Nigeria, you have agents that will first collect money from you. They will tell you they want to help you arrange trials abroad and all that. And that's an aberration in the real sense of, FIFA agencies.
And then, because in a few days time, by the 1st of October,
by 1st of October, exactly.
All these things will change. The TMS thing, the FIFA is telling you, look, anything you want to do must pass through FIFA. And as you are even as you are contacting the player, you are informing FIFA that we are contacting the player.
Exactly.
As you are in agreement, you are letting FIFA know that you are meeting the player.
Exactly.
So a lot of...
And if you are not involved in the ecosystem, there are limitations to what you can do with any professional football player.
Of course, if you are not licensed, you are not in an agency.
Even if you are working with a licensed agent, you cannot negotiate on behalf of the agent.
It's not by himself.
Basically, right. But important, like John said, it is the players that should come first. It is their welfare that is come first. It is their career path that will come first. And then not everybody starts from the top. They must be working, because some of this, as we have some clubs here who work with European clubs, that's how some clubs in Europe also work with bigger clubs in Europe.
Exactly.
I remember, I think at a point, maybe because of Molde and Manchester United, players they will send their players from Nigeria to the makers and them all go to Molde first.
Exactly.
Play after some time, play one season, then 2 seasons.
We have that already in Nigeria too now. Remo Stars and Farense.
Of course, that is the team.
Of course.
So, okay, I think we'll be going on a short break now. When we come back, I tell you this, Channel Sport on Sunday, we'll still talk tennis, we'll talk the Super Eagles, and then we hear from Jose Pesero. Why did you take the short-term contract? And then why are you bringing all the big guns around? For goodness sake, is it not? Are you the sledgehammer to kill a mosquito? Because they have fly. We don't even see the fly these days. Stay with us.
Since the moment I signed the contract, in my mind is win the next AFCON. For winning the next AFCON, you need to do our best every day, every time. everybody said, okay, you don't need to win São Tomé or with the local players or the base players, you can beat São Tomé. But you need to understand, because I see everybody forget that. For prepare one team for win the AFCON, you need time for work. National team is not one club. Work every day, weeks and months for prepare the team. Super Eagles as this camping, other camping in October, other in November. In my opinion, I expect other opinions. I must call the best players for prepare them, for training them, for stay more time, for improve our organization, for improve our spirit, for improve our team. If I go to change many players, or go now, because, okay, the base players deserve to come, okay, but I lose trainings. I lose one match for prepare our team. For prepare one team is not easy, or it's not only call the best players and they play. No. Because they play, they come from other contexts, other tactic, other leadership. For you do one good team, for you play well or play better, you need to concentrate more times the players. I think in the right moment, I need to concentrate the best players for prepare this match, because the responsibility, because São Tomé don't lose nothing, should come to play free with us, for prepare this match, for prepare the first match and second match, the qualification World Cup, and for prepare AFCON.
Yeah, this match, we'll use this match to prepare for the first match and the second match of the World Cup, and also for the AFCON. AFCON is just there in January. January, we will all go to Cote d'Ivoire, to go and do that. Well, when Cote d'Ivoire in '84, that was Patrick Okala. Yeah. Okay, best in the house.
Yeah, thanks, Ken, for having me and
They say you are
for
Green
going
Eagles.
down the memory lane. Yes, I think that was the last time the Green Eagles played.
They've not become Super Eagles then?
Yes, it was after '88. So we had Okala and Patrick and Rufai alternating in goal post. And you have Ademola Adesina losing a penalty in '84 and also losing a penalty in '88.
Okay.
But we won on both occasions.
Okay, so why can't we bring in him? Let him lose the penalty. Because we know when he loses the penalty, it translates to victory. Yeah. You understand? So that is, last year, week here, we're saying, look, we don't have a coach yet. We don't have a manager for the national team. But then they've just signed, they just given me a new contract. That contract will take him to January, February to AFCON. And look, they said, look, go there to go and win it. So, so if he wins that, it means probably he will continue, to prosecute the World Cup qualification. And then if he doesn't win the World Cup, if he doesn't win the AFCON, that means between now and then, we should be looking for a new manager for the national team. So basically, I think we will have to wait until the end of the AFCON in February. By now, we shall be looking about Plan B. In case Plan A derails, they will just go. They will use another 1 month or 2 months to search for a coach or a new manager for the national team. He says he brought the big guns because he wants to use them, as a preparatory ground, for the World Cup qualifiers. I mean, against
honestly, I think I will want to disagree with Mr. Pesero. I don't see anything preparatory in Sao Tome and Principe. A team defeated 10-0 away from home, and I think this should have been just the best option for him to explore those players, those they choose to have possibles and probables.
Yes.
This will have been the best option for him to
play the probables.
Yes, just play and see what they can. But I don't see the regulars. I don't see any experiment is going to do with them.
Okay, I'm coming to you. Coming to you before you add whatever you want to add. To me, if he doesn't play, Osimhen doesn't play this, how will if Cristiano Ronaldo was not playing against Luxembourg, how will he be scoring 11 goals? I mean, let Osimhen go there and score 10 goals. So that,
I'll think that when you consider the fact that the NFF had always said they had been broke, they are broke, they continue to be broke.
Okay, yeah.
They cannot continue to assemble players, waste hundreds of millions of naira on this kind of expedition. Because you look at it critically. Are you saying that we cannot assemble a team from the home-based lads that can actually play again, even if they don't defeat Sao Tome? Because at the end of the day, that's what makes the game a dead rubber. We do not have to win. But now, don't forget that the contract that Pesero has signed includes the fact that he must also superintend over the Chan team.
Good.
So what that means is he cannot abdicate himself from the responsibility of encouraging the home-based lads. This would have been the best opportunity to bring them to the fore, the likes of Olorunleke Ojo, Joseph Atule. We have capable players.
Olorunleke is in the team.
He is, but what I'm saying basically
is only home-based player.
A solely home-based team. We have good players. Ebubeduru, Joseph Atule, Olorunleke, Bankole. You have them in different departments. Divine Wachuku, okay, maybe he has already left, but at this point in time, at least a few of the ones that are not established home-based players, when exactly are you going to get them to gel into your own, plans?
I think that
okay, let me also because I watched one of the other qualifiers. We saw Cote d'Ivoire playing at Lesotho. But the one I want to talk about is Libya taking on Tanzania. That game ended goalless. But I don't see why people will be throwing objects onto the pitch.
Well, I think someone like me, I grew up knowing that kind of scenario. We had on our way to Moscow 85,
yes.
We had the Ethiopians here, and we're just throwing bread. Well, not we, our compatriots. I was not part of that. So we're throwing bread National Stadium at the Ethiopians that, there is a drought in Ethiopia, please take bread and eat. And of course, the junior Eagles, because they came flying, they paid heavily for it when they got to Addis Ababa, and they were just manhandled and beaten. So
sorry, I think I'm talking about Algeria, Tanzania.
Algeria, I was on it.
Yes, Algeria, Tanzania. Because Mahrez and the rest of them all were on that pitch. And then you've already qualified. You don't need to win this game. So why? I mean,
they have moved from using all these lasers.
Yes.
To physically assaulting and pelting. And I think it's part of the problems we still have on the continent. Not that we don't have hooliganism.
It's everywhere. It is
everywhere. But these are some of the challenges where you still have, lack of audience education. Because I feel that, look, if you critically make it a point of duty to educate your audiences before big games like this, I'm sure some of these things would have been reduced. So I think it's all for, the CAF, the different regulatory bodies to make sure they continue to engage the audiences, engage the fans on the need to be respectful to, I think in Nigeria,
I think why you do that, you still have the bad days. Just ensure they are fished out and just taking you from the game.
But you are now talking about being reactive. You are being reactive, not proactive. I'm saying be proactive enough to make them understand the essence of keeping it cool. Keeping it as much as possible, keep the environment conducive.
You are going to watch a game. You are not Israel Adesanya. You are not going for a fight. You are going to enjoy yourself. So whether without being told, it behooves you to know that, look, you are going there to enjoy the game, not to engage in a fight. You have the Japanese, after the game, they clean
the stadium.
Whole place.
I wish everybody, the Japanese templates, sometimes you will see the right and the wrong thing and you deliberately pick the wrong one.
Exactly.
Anyway, we want to open the lights now. You guys can join the show. The MPFL, is it MPFL or MPL? Which of them? What did they remove?
The professional.
I think what is constant, it has been twice.
The Premier is now Nigeria Premier League.
Okay.
So they don't want to go the professional. They want to be careful.
Okay.
It's better
Nigeria
Premier League.
Okay. Nigeria Premier League. Okay. The league was supposed to start. My guys, the truth is, I don't know. To me, I didn't actually believe that it would have been right to start the league yesterday.
Definitely.
If the Super Eagles are playing today, you understand? You are now saying that you have already forfeited that opportunity for the home-based players to be in that team.
Disrespect.
That is how I'm looking at it. If you can start, if it is the lower leagues can play. In Europe, there is no Premier League. The Bundesliga cannot play at this window. EPL cannot play at this window. Serie A cannot play at this window. The Spanish league itself, La Liga, cannot play at this window. The French League One cannot play at this window. So you can, when FIFA says this is the time for your elite players to engage in international.
We don't have players from the MPFL being represented in the nation.
I think that is not the issue.
That's not the issue.
We got it wrong even in the past. The World Cup qualifier was on. We suspended the league.
Yeah.
The CHAN tournament was on, and the league was on.
That is exactly what I am saying here.
Okay.
I am saying that whenever our teams, you want to understand, whether it is CHAN or whether it is World Cup or AFCON, put the league off. Because it is the players that you want to use to prosecute it. They will tell you if you don't have up to 5 players, remove only Messi from Argentina. They will not win the World Cup. So you don't have to need about 3 or 4 players.
Yeah.
So you are giving this advantage to some other teams. As long as 1 or 2 players is leaving because you are taking their best. You're not taking the worst. You are taking, it's not as if donating. Okay, just donate 1 player to us. Okay, let us give our fringe player. You are taking their best player, and you say they should continue playing the league.
There is a way you will pull out some players from your league games in England, and they will just they will slam you for disrespecting the league.
Exactly.
Once certain key players are not there and they are not injured, not disciplinary, you get slammed.
That is why they're always getting injured.
But I think it's the proper thing to have the league postponed.
The number of players that get injured before any international engagement baffles me. He will just say that this person is injured, and when they come out for international, the guy will just be there to play for his team.
He will praise the piper.
But at the end of the day, I still feel it is the incompetence of the administrators that we have seen come to the front burner again. Because I mean, the timing for the game, this particular game, Nigeria, Sao Tome, this particular game, and also the timing that they actually did schedule for the start, they all were aware. So how exactly did it get to that point where you now have logistics problems? So it's still their own fault at the end of the day. But the question begs, when exactly are they postponing to? No information.
No information.
And we talk about communication deficit. It's always happening. And this is what we normally complain about. If the communication deficit is there, you now leave the players, you leave the media, you leave them asking questions.
But Jimmy, you were told to further notice. So what?
So you are telling me that what I want to hear?
No, it's better than giving you a date and we can't start.
Okay, that's what I think the challenge is. You are making it sound like, well, we should be contented with what we have been told. But at the end of the day, that's why I said the communication deficit leaves it open for you and I to speculate.
But Jimmy,
the players,
if we have been told they won, if we have been told they won that it should be postponed definitely, it would have been better than getting postponed twice.
Of course.
Which is been postponed thrice now.
So let's leave it as till further notice.
Okay. Okay. We are still to see. Of course, there are some live shows going on. But see if we can still take, if it's possible, also take some calls and listen back to you. Who is speaking it today? Is it going to be Novak Djokovic or is it going to be Daniil Medvedev? Daniil was the guy who destroyed Carlos Alcaraz. Did you see that coming?
Maybe yes, maybe not. I fancy Alcaraz so much that, whenever he does play against anybody at this point in time,
he puts fear in your
trust me. We have been talking about this duopoly, this Alcaraz and Djokovic duopoly, but Medvedev found a way to remind us that I'm still here. And, this is his best surface. That's what I think we forgot.
Yeah.
We normally see Medvedev maybe inconsistent, but when it comes to the hard court, this is his surface. Whether it be the Australian Open or the US Open, he knows how to play. And he won in 2021. Don't forget that the career Grand Slam that Djokovic was looking for, it was one that decimated and denied him that, unique opportunity in 2021.
And the good thing about this, was that before the game, before he played Alcaraz, he was asked that what does he think about the?
He said we need
about Alcaraz and Djokovic. In fact, just like you said, the man said, look, even at the height of when Federer and Nadal were that good, players were beating them. They were beatable. So there is only way we tell me about, but Alcaraz and Nadal were not beatable. Of course, these guys are good. When he lost, when he lost, okay, it was due to injury. He lost in the French Open semi-finals to Djokovic. But there was after he won. After he won the win.
Apart from injury, was Popod.
No, but
they were still. It was still on. But at least on one set
that tilted it
in Djokovic's favor.
Djokovic did beat him at Cincinnati. That is clear.
That one was clear.
That one was very clear. You take that. So he said, look, that he has learned everything now. He's a better player. He's a matured player. But when Medvedev beat him, he said, no, he's not here to say.
I think Medvedev is still that issue of the crowd being antagonistic to Russian players is still weighing him down. And for him, he just felt he's not being respected enough for what he's doing, but rather being disrespected for what others are doing.
No. It started from 2019 when he actually had a finger into the hair.
Medvedev
and even Djokovic, the two of them, they are not loved by. They are not loved by the US Open fans at all.
I want to argue what you are looking at. You joined. You didn't start from the beginning. The beginning was naturally these two players, because Djokovic started by trying to say he wants to please the crowd. The crowd is already been won by Federer and Nadal. So no matter what he does,
they don't like
their love. It's okay. He turned heel. If una don't want to support me, then let me tell you that you will be on your own. Medvedev intentionally risks the crowd. Intentionally look for that problem.
Exactly.
He does.
And that was his own on-field antics in 2019. Then in 2020, Djokovic has his own too. So, there's
even this year,
let's go on a break. Let's go on another break. When we come back, it will be the home run. It will be the home run. You stay with us. The Invictus Games for injured veterans. That is the thing. They defend the world. They want world peace. And then when they get injured, they will just throw them away. They will forget them. That is what this is all about. And you can see the joy there. I saw the Nigeria flag. I wanted to see the Nigerian anthem there. I see our veterans also march on that stage. But then it is one world. And also we saw Prince Harry. That is Nigeria for me. That is what I want to see. Gentlemen, it gladdens my heart. It gives me joy. At the female World Cup, just Women's World Cup that just ended. When the Brazilians were singing their national anthem, there was tears in their eyes.
Ken, recall when Camoranesi was still playing passionately. He will be crying when the Italian anthem is being sung.
Oh my God! That is one of my most iconic moments of that championship. Every other thing, you see the Brazilians shedding tears, singing that anthem.
For me, I don't think nothing can beat having the Eagles coming down from the underground tunnel of National Stadium.
Led by Stephen Okechukwu with that ball in his hand.
Nothing can beat that memory. Nothing.
It's like a general leading his field marshal leading them to war. And once they come out, the roar that the stadium, when you see them coming out,
he erupts.
I tell you, the Super Eagles generation don't know that.
They don't.
It is the Green Eagles generation.
Nothing big.
Okay, what about the Red Devils generation? What about the Red Devils? Because a lot of people actually don't know that they used to be Red Devils in those years. The years of Henshaw.
Before it became Super Eagles, they started as Red Devils. It was as independent. I would not have the flag of green, white, green. I would not have the green Eagles. You understand? So they became a devil and became eagle. Then
from being green became super.
It became super.
At a point became chicken.
People don't understand. Even the eaglets. The eaglets were the
baby eaglets.
Before they were the baby eaglets. Now when they won that trophy,
World Golden Eaglet,
they now became the World Golden Eaglet. You understand? And then only that this one got too much. Junior Eagles became Flying Eagles, and so I think someday we shall look at the names of our national team, the transformation from the origins.
I think we have stopped that dream team something now.
The dream, no, the dream
No, it's for the
under
under
23
23
team.
team. Under 23.
Yeah, but is it still on?
Yeah, they are still the dream team. The dream team 1, dream team 2.
That's why back to back non-qualification.
From Atlanta, that's when it became. That was why it became the dream. The dream team when we won the gold. And then so let's see how that one will be. So we'll still go. We're still there, and I don't know why the calls are not coming in. But we still try and put the numbers there to see if you guys can engage us. But then let's look at what happened to Israel Adesanya, gentlemen.
Yeah, in sport. It was Ibu that said, in victory, humility, in defeat, gallantly. So it has come. Luckily, he was not knocked out. He lost on point. So for me, I think he should, and he fought at home and he lost. So nothing can be more, nothing can weigh someone down as much as
I think
that.
he's
So
not just been.
he has to prepare better.
I think he's just not improved his craft. Yes, he's long, he has the range, but he's not done better in terms of the preparation and also
I think he's been
fighting smaller fighters. He allows them under normal circumstances. He takes a step back and tries to kick them because he has that. Yeah, he takes the initiative. But this time around, he was watching. Sean was watching his kicks and was able to hold him at times. Moved into it. Most times. The other fighters are scared to go towards him because they know he's very good with the kicks. They don't want to get, down and all that. But he didn't care. He knew that there was a problem with Israel's attack. And also the defense somewhat. It looked like he didn't really improve. And that's why he was always going at him and Israel could not do anything. So it tells you that, the guy might be ranked 6th. But at the end of the day, he's the biggest upset in the middleweight category.
Okay, let's take our first caller. We have a caller on the line. Hello.
Okay. Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I want to speak about Jose Pesira's selection for the squad. I would love to say that the fact that he brought in these foreign players, I feel that it's a very wise choice that he made. Because when you observe these our home-based players, yes, there are a lot of talent among them, but how well has this talent developed? And he really wants to work on the team that he has currently. So he cannot having to take home-based players, he would have to work on developing this young talent. For example, now look at these home-based players. They can barely survive in the continental games, and we expect them to compete with the top stars of other countries. That's lots of things they need to work on. When you watch their matches, if you look at set piece, they are very poor at taking this set piece. And that is the reason why he had to take a goalkeeper. The only was a goalkeeper, because I feel the work of a goalkeeper is just majorly pure talent, unlike others that need all other techniques. That's just what I have to say. And I really appreciate the work that you guys are doing over there and your support for sports in Africa and Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you, Joshua. Thank you so much. Favor. I'm thinking of Anthony Joshua. Favor, thank you. Because I wanted to ask you guys before his call came in. What was forming on my head was that what is the next step for the last style bender? Is it going to the Francis Ngannou way? Go make some money, in
I think
boxing. But who can command that the kind of paycheck that's in full command?
For him, he has lost that aura. Before he was unbeaten, the last bender, but when you just like Joshua, when he started,
Ngannou was also beaten.
No. He's also
before he regained it.
Yes,
the heavyweight. But you are talking about, because it's a class that you hardly notice. So for him, the aura that surrounds
he's gone.
The unbeaten
he's gone. That unbeaten aura
and
is
now
gone.
when he starts suffering losses back to back, so I think he's gone. So he can't actually command that paycheck. Why Anthony Joshua still backed on the fact that he was a former Olympic champion, and that will always fetch you.
But what if he wins it for the third time? This is, it being a middleweight title. This is tonight.
I think what
if he comes back to pick it,
what he has dropped is just the toga of invisibility. That's the only thing he's lost.
But if he wins the third time,
but I feel that the UFC didn't know what to do to make him look larger than life, because it's about the pay-per-view. It's about the numbers really.
Yeah.
Because at this point in time now, they're already talking about a rematch, the possibility of a rematch. So you have asked what exactly is the next step for him. He's not going to go into all these promotional fights with cross sports promotional fights.
Suppose a YouTuber comes.
No. He's going to. He has a title to reclaim.
He reclaims that, and a YouTuber comes for him.
That would be fantastic.
He won't come out.
We are looking at the money.
No,
we are looking at
that is what I'm saying.
That's what
it's not like a Mayweather that will give you this fat check.
What if Mayweather challenges him? I mean, middleweight.
The process is very slim.
It's very slim because
he can't command that paycheck. That is the issue. Because what
the people that Mayweather for, do you know their names?
No.
Do you know that Japanese? I can't even remember the name.
The selling point for him was just that invisibility. And
what I'm saying is Mayweather has picked boxers that are totally on, and even before the fight and after that, we can't still remember their names.
But I don't think that would be it for Adesanya. But if you want to compare with Francis Ngannou and also
with 200 million Nigerians
that would be an
behind Adesanya,
that would be an anomaly. Because don't forget,
the market is not yet.
Ken, don't forget that Ngannou was undefeated when he resigned from the sport. Tyson Fury is still undefeated. So these are marquee heavyweights. The biggest and the best in the divisions.
I don't want to engage Jimmy.
The biggest and the best in the divisions.
I don't want to engage Jimmy in this. But you see, with the all due respect to Tyson Fury, when he wants to fight who he knows will beat him, he will start doing
nobody will agree with you.
Possible conditions.
Nobody will agree with you.
That is how the sport is.
That's how it is.
Larry Holmes was propelled just to get up that to knock Rocky Marciano off the pitch. But unfortunately for him, he was too in haste, and of course, he met his Waterloo.
No. He was not, because one, I think he lost that fight to Michael Spinks.
Yes.
Mike Spinks.
Yes.
Coming in from light heavyweight.
Yeah.
Before then, no light heavyweight from 1903 till then has ever fought and won.
But as at that time, Spinks was 48. Not in the picture. Yes.
He was on 48. 48 fights.
Yeah.
Marciano has a 49-0 fight. Mayweather has his 50. Even if he has to fight some wrestlers to complete the 50.
But at least
for Holmes, he was also get a journeyman and he just bump into.
The thing was that it was unthinkable because for him, he thought it was going to go there. Larry Holmes was awesome.
Yes, but he was supposed to fight.
You have had more. Yeah, okay, there have been some unthinkables also.
Boxer.
Look at Usyk now, a cruiserweight that is already the world champion, having how many belts? There are a lot of unthinkables that have happened.
No. Usyk, his last fight. He was aided. He was aided by the. He
was aided, but he will still have won.
We find out
he will still have won.
No. They would have counted him out.
But did he look like he was in trouble? Ken.
No. He knocked him down, and
he knocked him down.
He said it was below the belt. It wasn't. It wasn't below the belt.
Controversially,
he went down.
Controversially.
You can't take away.
But he was still have won.
I don't know what Tajura was doing. Not train for his. That's what I said. But leave his head alone. You understand?
That's Anthony Joshua for you.
And Usyk,
that's Anthony Joshua.
Be remembered and be venerated at least for dropping Joshua twice.
If Usyk,
who should have been venerated?
No, I said that is the selling point now for a man. The man that dropped Anthony Joshua twice, Usyk.
Exactly. I agree.
So
I agree with Okwe.
Wilder also dropped Tyson Fury.
And Tyson Fury has decimated, discombobulated, eviscerated.
Let's go. Your final words on the show.
All right, Medvedev for the win. I repeat, Medvedev for the win.
Let me enjoy Coco's victory.
He doesn't want to get drawn in.
4 sets. Okay. 4 sets.
24.
4 sets.
24 for Djokovic.
4 sets.
I'm Ken Ochonogo. Have a very blessed Sunday. Stay blessed.